Hello everyone. For chapter number 4, we are going to look into the leader as an individual. Indeed, as an individual, we do have our own beliefs, our own values, our own way of judging the situations, our own way of perceiving what's happening around us, so that based on our beliefs, our values, our experience, we will be deciding, and we are going to have a type of reaction, different types of reactions to different situations. However, are we all perfect? Or are we all being perceived as a perfect person? Not necessarily. So usually we do our optimum, even if we are not perfect. No one is perfect. However, as a leader, you can always learn from different situations, and you can always use your ability to do what we call the critical thinking through questioning, even in advance. So before even making a decision or talking or giving any type of recommendation, you can always look into the consequences and how your words or your actions are going to be interpreted by different employees. And of course, those interpretations will depend now on the personality and on the values and beliefs of your followers as well. So in this chapter, you are going to see different types of analysis, some examples regarding the personalities, and the following learning objectives are going to be fulfilled. One of them is to understand the importance of self-awareness and recognize one's blind spot. A blind spot is a type of characteristic that you may have that may not be necessarily judged or perceived as a positive one for other people. It doesn't mean, again, that we have to be perceived as a perfect person to everyone. It's almost impossible. However, a leader needs to adapt the way that he or she is reacting to different situations in a way that everyone is going to understand. If not, we can always make sure that our followers are going to understand by communicating. This is why a good leader is also a good communicator. Then you're going to have the next learning objective, which is based on identifying major personality dimensions and understand how personality influences leadership and relationships within organization. This topic is very interesting because for the last 2 centuries we have been having many sociologists and many psychologists who started to look into classifying different types of personality. So I'm sure that you heard about personality types A and B, or for example personality types based on colors, or personality types based on, for example, again, the way that people are perceived. For example, we may have people, this is one of the examples, of course, we may have people that can be categorized into 4 different classification, and again, it doesn't mean that we are all going to have one specific characteristic. We are all going to have a type of mosaic of those characteristics. For example, if you see someone who is amiable, the person is not necessarily at 100% amiable. There may also be a little bit of analytical characteristics as well. But overall, since I started with amiable people, we do have one model of personality where we look into 4 types of people or personalities. We talk about amiable people. These are those who would like to please everyone. They can never say no, or usually they tend not to say no. And because of that, even if they are always well received by different groups, they may not always deliver on time, because they are going to always accept more and more projects, and they will not be able to complete all of them, because of the fact that they would like to please to everyone. Again, this is just one extreme personality. Okay, we cannot find people who are at 100% amiable, for example, but this is one way. Another type of personality, again, in this category are those who are drivers. Drivers are those who decide fast. They think fast. They may make mistakes fast. they can also make very good decisions fast. So these are directors. We can also, again, of course, it does have much more personality traits, but you are going to learn more by reading the slides and of course the book chapter, as well as you can also find sources on internet. You can also have people who are expressive. These are those who talk. They talk, they talk, and they talk. These people are excellent for the communication. For being a director, they may not be, again, I'm talking about extreme personalities here. They may not be good directors, for example. They may not be at 100% amiable, but they are excellent in talking and of course expressing themselves. We also have people who are analytical. These people, they prefer numbers. You can talk with them, but you cannot persuade them unless you are giving them enough numbers. They need to have quantitative data so that you can again have them as your followers as well, as a leader. So those type of personalities, for example, and again these are extreme, you can now as a leader start looking into again your family members. You can look into your friends, people who are around you, and you can now look into their personality traits. And this is what a leader does. When leaders, they come into a room or into a meeting, through the conversations, of course, they observe the body language of people, they talk with people, they look into different habits of people, the way that they talk. They also look into about the topics that people they are choosing as a topic for a conversation, and they can now get a first idea of what is the personality type of that person and how you use it now. When you are a driver, drivers are attracting each other. That's because they are both thinking fast, they are deciding fast, and they are usually looking into what is in for them in a situation, which is not wrong. Again, this is a way. This is because based on their again their personality. They have their own values and beliefs and perception of the facts, and they do their analysis faster, and they also accept that if they are making any error, they can still think fast and find in a faster way a solution in order to compensate the errors that they did before. So this is one way of personality that we can have. Now you as a leader, you need to have some exercises in order to find out who are the leaders, and if you would like to be able to communicate with them, you have to act as a leader. Same thing applies to people who are amiable. Same thing, same principle applies to those who are analytical. When you are talking with someone who is analytical, you have to talk about the numbers, and you have to expect to get numbers. You cannot persuade any analytical person by saying that, you know what, I heard about something, so I think that we should do exactly the same thing. They are not going to accept. You will have to give them numbers so that they will be able to have a sense of what you are saying. Now it's interesting that as a leader, now you understand that you need to not just guess, but I would say guess, but looking into knowing more about the personality of different directors or managers or your employees, so that you will be able to please them as well, pleasing them by showing them that you are having a personality which is a little bit similar but not identical to what they have. So now you understand how you are going to be able to again engage conversations with an analytical person, and that conversation is definitely different from or again a conversation that you start or engage with someone who is amiable. The same thing applies to your interviews as well. When you go to an interview for a job, you can also talk with people, listen to the director, to the manager, to the HR person, and then now you can guess their personalities as well. So here your experience or even your knowledge of leadership from this course, from this again just this chapter, is going to help you to be able to connect with different people, with different personalities, with different perceptions, of course, different values and beliefs. And now you understand that in any type of conversation you have to reach a type of compromise with them. so that when you are going to deal with amiables like amiables, with analytical people like analytical people, with expressive people like expressive people, now you are going to be well seen, because people from different types of personalities are going to see in you an ally, someone who understands them. And this is again something very important that is coming right from the different theories of personalities. So please again read the book chapters, and you can also learn more about the theories of personalities. If you would like to, I can also respond to your questions in the online class that we are going to have. Now another learning objective is to clarify instrumental and end values and recognize how values guide thoughts and behavior. You already have the answer to this question, I know, because based on your beliefs and values, you're going to perceive things in a different way. And when you are going to have a perception which is different, you are going to analyze in a different way. So you are going to understand in a different way, and then you are going to behave in a different way. Now I'm not saying that we are going to have completely different way of understanding or again acting. This is because people, they always tend to have some compromises, so that we are going to exchange again our opinions. We are going to give some I would say some positive reactions to some acts. We are going to exchange again also our I would say I already talked about the perception, but about our opinions, and then within a group we are going to reach a compromise. But you know what, you as a leader, you need to reach that compromise faster than others, because you are the person who is showing the way, who is motivating everyone. And a good leader is someone who can now look into a team, looking into all of the team members, reading their personalities, knowing the abilities of each person, and consequently being able to form teams that not only have enough skills for a project, for example, but also these are people who are compatible based on their personalities. This is the secret of being a good leader. Now, another learning objective in this chapter will be to define attitudes and explain their relationship to leaders' behavior. As a leader, even as a manager as well, you are going to see 4 case scenarios. For example, if there's for a job to be done, we are going to see 4 categories of people. People who do know about the job, they have the skills and they have the will to do the job. For them, you just need to give them the project. You just tell them, you know what, this is yours, please complete that, and they will do it. If not, you have another category of employees, of people, those who have the skill but they don't have the will to do that. Now, I'm not going to go into details of human resources management. However, for these people, the best way to manage or even to lead is to give them a project, but of course to explain to them, and if they need any training, you offer them the training as well. And then you can now, if you would like to, you can again I would say do some type of micromanagement by asking the person to come to your office every week or every 2 weeks, giving you some reports on how a project is running, and then giving them incentives so that they will be motivated and they are going to be more disciplined. Again, this is one way of a good leadership. Now you do have people also, 2 other categories, those who do not have the skills but they have the will to do the job. For them, you as a leader, you are going to give them all of the trainings that they need, all of the support that they need, all of the different even human resources that you may have, so that they will be able to do the job for you. Not for you, for the company, of course. But the funniest one, the category, is when you are dealing with someone who doesn't know a job to do a project, a job, and at the same time they don't have the will to do that. Here, when I give those type of trainings to different corporations, the HR person tells me, you know what, we are going to fire the person. This is not what we do, my friends. We don't fire someone just because of that, okay? That's because it also affects the other team members. We never do that. What we do, again, as a good leader, is that not only we give them all of the trainings that they need, we also micromanage them. So again, we tell them every 3 days, every 4 days, you come to my office and you're going to give me some report on how, again, a project is progressing. Again, there's nothing wrong. Everything will be done within the, again, the extreme politeness, extreme respect, again, toward individuals or in between individuals. However, you as a leader, as a manager and leader, you have all of the rights to manage all of these different types of projects the way that you want, because this is for the good of the company and for the employee as well, because employees are also going to learn more skills and they're also going to have more achievements. This is going also to make them happier. They're going to stay more in the company, and the team working with that person is also going to be affected positively. This is the way that a leader is thinking, my friends, and of course, again, acting. Then another learning objective in this chapter, I know that there are so many, but depends on chapters, of course, is to explain attributions and recognize how perception affects the leader-follower relationship. Here, it's important that you look into your blind spots, because you may be having different types of perception, different values and beliefs, and when you are acting, when you are expressing yourself, those actions or expressions may be misunderstood by people around you. Not because you are making errors here, that's because the way that your actions or again expressions have been judged or perceived may not have been at 100% compatible with the values and beliefs of all or few of your followers. This is why another and one of the major skills of leadership is to communicate. Not just communicate your own way, communicate in a way that all of your followers, they can understand and they can feel the fact that you are having the goodwill, you are very positive leader, you are paying attention to their personalities, to their values and beliefs, and making sure that the team, at the end of the day, the team is going to keep again its to stay cohesive. Now, the last learning objectives for this chapter is to recognize individual differences in cognitive style and broaden one's own thinking style to expand leadership potential. So here, I'm going to invite you to read the examples and of course the definitions given for that. And of course, this is for yourself as well. We as a leader doesn't mean that we know everything. We are going to look into again ourselves. We are also going to try to read ourselves again through different situations. You can also as a leader participate in other meetings, trying to learn more about different types of leadership in other departments in different situations as well. And the last learning objective is to understand how to lead and work with people with varied personality traits. So here, as I told you, we have to come up with a compromise at the end with all of those different personalities. And in order to be able to guess the personality of the person in front of you, you can just develop some type of I would say behavior or a set of questions that you are asking them, but through a very normal conversation, and through the answers that you are going to receive from the person, you will be able to guess what type of personality the person is going to have. This is why when you are going to again start working somewhere, usually the manager is going to ask you to go to the to his or her office, and they are going to have a very informal conversation with you, The aim is to be able to understand your personality so that you, as a new member of the team, you are going to also feel that you are well received, that you are well understood, and that you are going to stay in the team as well. The same thing applies also to directors, to the VPs, or if we are, for example, having a new CEO, what they all do is that they go to their office, or they may just set a meeting with you, maybe in the cafeteria and anywhere, and they are going to have a one-on-one conversation for you, and they are going now to set the tone for always reaching a compromise with you. This is how you are going to lead not one person, not two people, maybe 100 people, by knowing more about their personality, their values, their beliefs, and of course for making sure that you are going to keep your team very cohesive. So thank you so much for listening to me. I know that this chapter was and is very interesting and very useful, so I'm inviting you to please read all of the slides that are prepared for you here, as well as looking into the book chapters, and then to complete the weekly quizzes, because those questions are going to push you to learn more, to search more on, again, using your lecture or your book, and of course on internet as well. And of course I'm going to find you in class in case you may have some questions, or if you would like to have some type of discussion regarding these two chapters. Thank you so much, and see you soon, my friends.